Welcome to today's masterclass. My name is Jose Rivera. I'm the CEO of CSIA, and I will be your host today. For those who are unfamiliar with CSIA, we are a global, non-profit trade association with over 500 member companies in 35 countries. To highlight just a few of the many CSIA benefits, the CSIA Best Practices Manual guides control system integration companies in the setup and running of a solid company. Any system integration company will benefit from the best practices, but earning the CSIA certification is a confirmation by a third party that you have deployed them correctly. For partner members, CSIA offers an ecosystem to grow your system integration programs, understand your customer pain points, monitor industry trends, and share your thought leaderships. A trusted resource of qualified integrators and suppliers, the CSIA Industrial Automation Exchange helps system integrators, industry suppliers, and manufacturers connect and do business. For system integrators and partners, it provides a platform to support your content and search engine optimization marketing efforts, position your company and C-suite as thought leaders, and nurture prospects by providing a credible source for information about your company and your products. Finally, a reminder that in 2021, you will have increased access to knowledge sharing, community building, and networking through the year when you join and renew your CSIA membership. CSIA is committed to delivering extremely relevant content to system integrators while providing partner members access to a highly engaged audience. To that end, we have been delivering weekly virtual events on a broad range of topics and experiences, all which are open to sponsorship. For more information about CSIA membership, virtual events, and sponsorship, and advertising opportunities, contact us at info@staff.controlsys.org. And now, I would like to introduce the Iconics and SOAP engineering team, Morgan Nelson, Suhail Justani, and Scott Kaiser. Scott?
Thank you, Jose. I'm starting to share my screen now. Thanks to the CSIA organization for hosting this event, and thanks to SOAP Engineering and Iconics Gold Certified SI for participating. As Jose has already introduced the team presenting today, I'll move on to the presentation. We're going to cover 4 sections today. We're going to cover an introduction overview about Iconics. We're going to talk a bit about digital twin cloud solutions for operations, and have SOAP Engineering discuss their case study on remote monitoring of offshore equipment. And then we'll have a conclusion and wrap up with questions. Okay, Iconics is headquartered in Foxborough, Massachusetts. We have been in business since 1986, and we'll be celebrating our 35th anniversary very soon. Iconics has partners around the world in over 100 countries with over 400 partners, including many distributors, VARs, OEMs, and our valued systems integrators. We have installations in over 375,000 sites worldwide. And we're proud to say that we're a 6-time Microsoft Partner Award winner. Iconics has solutions in a variety of industries, ranging from energy, smart buildings and smart cities, manufacturing intelligence and industrial automation, power and water utilities, oil and gas industry, and public infrastructure. Our technology enables digital transformation. Our automation software, our technology is installed, as I said, in a variety of industries worldwide: automotive, food and beverage, government, manufacturing, oil and gas, materials and mining, life sciences, water, wastewater, transportation, energy, and utilities. Our products consist of one common platform, from edge to cloud, for visualization, command, control, historization, event handling, and analytics. Our products are open and secure for interoperability with Internet of Things, IoT, controllers, PLCs, computing, and all types of systems. It's one platform from edge to cloud. The Iconic suite consists of an HMI SCADA product named Genesis 64, our historian, our hyperhistorian, our analytics tools, and our IoT Works technology. Our products enable high-speed data collection, HMI SCADA dashboarding, analytics of the data you've collected, as well as IoT and cloud interface to edge devices and edge type systems. We support a variety of open protocols for our universal connectivity to sensors and equipment, a variety of automation systems, and open protocols ranging from OPC, CC-Link, web services, SNMP, MQ, TT, AMQP, Modbus, Ethernet, IP, and etc. All of this data is centralized into one uniform platform, delivering all of the information on a single pane of glass. Iconic's technology is a solution accelerator. Whether it's connecting to your factory to improve production flexibility or increase factory productivity, or connected field service, this is a new offering called CFS Works, which accelerates dispatching of workers, provides them access to actionable information used to prevent equipment failures and take care of preventive maintenance activities. Our remote monitoring capability improves visibility into distributed assets, such as an oil well field, such as a very large plant or facility, to optimize plant operations. We support mixed reality. That's working with wearable devices to provide a real-time virtual plant view for hand operations, such as maintenance operations and so forth. We provide predictive maintenance technology through our fault detection and diagnostics to help clients avoid costly downtime and prevent equipment failures. We also support smart spaces to reduce energy costs. Our technology helps clients extend their equipment life and improve occupant comfort for their smart spaces. Oops, sorry about that. Iconic's technology is open, scalable, and modular architecture, whether it's on-premise or in the cloud. Our platform services and application server provide mission-critical redundancy, along with our hyperhistorian, which connects to equipment through our variety of open protocols, runs with our analytics tools, as well as other analytics tools on the data that's been collected, and provides client visualization from wearables all the way to your desktop. For our visualization, we configure it once and deploy on any glass, whether it's a desktop, your browser on a tablet, a mobile device, or through augmented reality through a wearable or headset. You can access Iconics for your mobile devices through the Apple, Android, and Windows stores. Our web HMI provides visibility through .NET or HTML5 technology. And our GraphWorks 64 provides high-fidelity graphics, 3D, and scripting. Today, we're going to talk about digital twins for operations. Digital twins are a fusion of telemetry, analytics, and metadata from multiple data sources within your plant or your operations system. We can provide you information for operations insight and the ability to control. We connect the Internet of Things with people and critical processes for our digital twins. A digital twin, really, what is it? It consists of your telemetry, your MIS, your data, your IoT data, that is amalgamated into an object. This object contains information about its users, about where it's at. It may contain information about performance criteria such as speed, temperature, pressure, flow, and it may provide asset metadata. What is it? What does it do? What kind of screens are associated with it? All in one object. This object then is deployed into an asset structure where you have assets related to the site where the system is running. That's an object-oriented connectivity. It's encapsulating the operational data into a manageable object that you can deploy and replicate. Now, we do our asset-oriented structure through a technology that Iconics calls AssetWorks. It's a tool that enables our Iconics digital twins. AssetWorks allows you to organize enterprise data into a tree-like structure for visual navigation, manage the security, controls the rights, and provide a variety of views. Now, with this structure, we can scale out to millions of data points through these reusable templates. This technology is built on ISA 95 asset technology. It provides totalization notification view for its operators and users. It can work with our fault detection diagnostics tools and a variety of analytics tools. The AssetWorks Navigator allows you to look at a variety of views from the total summary view of the asset, the line, the well field, whatever, even down to the individual items that have been configured in the system, the individual assets, to see point data from the individual assets. What enables our digital twins beyond the asset view is our hyperhistorian. Our hyperhistorian is a very high-speed, reliable, and robust historian, sub-millisecond capability. It provides unified connectivity to the data sources through a variety of OPC, OPC-UA, and other technologies that we can utilize for data sources. Within the historian itself are data collectors, filtering, compression algorithms, and a variety of aggregation algorithms. It supports the ISA 95 asset structure, and it integrates with Analytics BI. It turns your data into usable information. Now, what is the hyperhistorian? It consists of distributed data collectors through the open protocols, and also has the ability to collect non-structured offline data using a tool we call MergeWorks. It contains distributed loggers, which provide the high-speed data logging capability. They can store and manage the data. They can do store and forward. We also support data exporting and support connecting to REST APIs. Within our hyperhistorian, we have visualization and analytics tools as part of the historian. Things such as trend charts, our KPI works, our analytics tools. The historian has expressions, calculations, and aggregation and contextualization capability for the data. We also work with a variety of reporting tools, including our ReportWorks, Office 365, Power BI, and various SQL query interfaces. Finally, we have our IoT Works products. Our IoT Works sits at the edge, whether it's in your manufacturing plant or your buildings, provides open connectivity to a variety of subsystems. Then it connects securely through Microsoft Azure IoT Hub and the Microsoft Azure Cloud with the Iconic systems running in the cloud to provide visualization, historization, and a variety of analytics capabilities. Essentially, our IoT Works is an off-the-shelf enterprise-wide visualization system with command and control capabilities at the edge. IoT Works runs on an edge device in a container, whether it's running a Linux or other operating systems. We provide interface to a variety of protocols, Modbus, OPC, BACnet, web services, MQTT at the edge, as well as local visualization capability through our KPI Works tools. The edge gateway running IoT Works will connect via a variety of networking, whether it's 5G or LTE or fiber or Ethernet, to the cloud. Within the cloud, you may be running your Iconic system in an Azure environment. So it's connecting to the Azure IoT Hub for management, configuration, and updates and so forth. So we have connect sites and infrastructure such as control systems, smart meters, and sensors through our IoT edge device, and then sending the data up to the cloud for enterprise-wide visualization and analytics, as well as alarm management or allowing users to develop a corrective action plan should they see alarms and other issues with the data provided through the cloud and the Genesis 64 system running in the cloud. Now I'd like to switch over to SOAP Engineering to Morgan Nelson. She'll be presenting a case study on the remote monitoring of offshore equipment. Morgan, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let me get my screen going. All right. Hi, everyone. As Scott said, my name is Morgan Nelson, and I am the Solutions Manager at SOAP Engineering. So first, I just wanted to give you a little introduction to SOAP. So we are turnkey system integrators. So we do everything from field installation of actual transmitters, wiring, putting in the PLCs, all the way back to the SCADA monitoring solutions. We serve many different industries. Over the past few years, we've gotten more into water, wastewater, but I would say our key industry is probably oil and gas. We're based in Houston, Texas. We do have offices, satellite offices in different locations across the US that help with our field and support personnel. But most of our project management and development work is done in Houston. We have experience with many different hardware and software platforms, but I would say that majority of our SCADA projects over the past few years have been using the Iconics platform. And I think that just speaks to the flexibility and ease of use of the software, and also how they are focused on keeping up with the new technology, especially with looking into cloud and IoT solutions. So first I wanted to start out with just kind of going over some industry trends that we've seen over the past couple of years. With everything that's gone on with COVID and the craziness in the world, it has put a shift on our customers and what their needs are. I think the biggest thing has probably been trying to figure out ways to reduce cost. So the first thing is when customers are looking for how to add more monitoring into their system. A lot of times they have assets that they've had for a long time and been maintaining, or potentially have acquired a new asset, and the hardware and software in that asset may be old. The cost to do a full replacement of that may not be something that's feasible. So what we see is customers are looking to put more of a centralized monitoring solution in place on top of that existing hardware and software that exists in the field. So this can be accomplished by a centralized server, either on premises at their office or cloud hosted, and then have different devices to gather that information from the field, whether that's IoT devices, to bring that back centrally. That enables them to add new technology features, to do analytics on the data, as well as give more people access to the system. So not just those field users that are out at the physical device looking at local HMIs, they now have the ability to review it from their office for management as well. The next thing is minimizing project execution. So I think that customers today have more of an interest in trying to see how they take a big project and separate it out into smaller chunks. And to be able to do that effectively, they want to say, I want to do a pilot project and use that pilot project to then repeat to my other assets along the way, over a phased approach for projects. So that's where working with Iconics has really been key for us, because they do have a lot of tools in their platform that allow for reusability. That makes it easy for us as system integrators to be able to do a pilot project and then use that framework to easily deploy as more sites go and as the customer may grow. The next thing is remote and cloud hosting. I think this is a big one, especially I think companies are looking to get rid of their traditional in-house IT groups. So with that, it means, what are they going to do with managing their servers? How are they going to handle that? And that's where I think cloud hosting really is of interest of a lot of customers right now, because it gives you the idea that you can just kind of pay for what you use. You don't have to worry so much about your servers, and if they're reaching end of life, you're just using those servers to host the softwares that you need access to. So it kind of reduces some of that long-term maintenance costs associated with servers. And with that remote cloud hosting, that kind of plays into where we as system integrators are looking to focus. And what I'll talk about today is SCADA as a service. So not only would you be using the cloud hosting for the server, but also hosting the SCADA system as well. So what that would mean for the end customer is they don't have the big upfront cost of purchasing licenses. Really what they're doing, again, is just paying for what they use. So the SCADA system is set up, it has all of the data there, the visualizations, the user access, and they can just log in and use that SCADA system to operate their assets. They no longer have to worry about making sure the SCADA system is maintained. And so again, it's another reduction in staff cost to be able to use that SCADA as a service. So today I am going to walk you guys through a case study that we did, which is one of our offerings of SCADA as a service, and it's called Orion. So Orion was created based off a need that we saw with some customers in Houston that had come and talked to us with the blowout preventer. So a blowout preventer is used in offshore drilling. So I have a video playing at the bottom that I'm just going to walk you through and show you what that is. So it is the piece of equipment that is managing the pressure of the fluid coming from the ground back to the drilling vessel. So it has many different safety aspects that can control the flow, slow it down, or speed it up depending on the needs. And it also can completely cut off the flow, essentially blocking in that well for safety purposes. So as I'm sure a lot of you are familiar, the Deepwater Horizon disaster that happened in 2010 was the result of this particular blowout preventer equipment failing. So because it was not able, when the pressure got too high, it was not able to close in or cut off the flow. That's what led to the high pressure events that happened on the surface that led to all of the issues that happened with that disaster. So as a result of that, there were government changes in place and also companies looking to add safety measures. So all blowout preventers now require real-time monitoring of the data, and that data must also be piped back onshore. So with these blowout preventers, the OEM that provides them does have a solution existing today to monitor that data and send it back off onshore, but it's outdated. The hardware and the software has become obsolete, and so it's caused a lot of issues for the customers. So that's where we kind of saw the opportunity to fill the void by creating this solution. So Orion is the name we gave it, and it stands for Operational Reliability and Integrity for offshore and nearshore. So when we were looking at this opportunity, we're first looking at the challenges that our customer had. So the first is hardware and software obsolescence. Obviously, that means if something fails, it's hard to replace it. The other thing is that the solution provided was only a single server. So if there were any issues with that server, it's a single point of failure, and they would start to lose that data. So the BOP data, the blowout preventer data, is important because they can actually see what the panel looks like, the actual status of the real-time data coming in, and it also provides maintenance information. So as each component on that piece of equipment is used, there's a cycle count that says this, tracking the number of times the component has been in use so that they can determine when it's end of life. Similar to how you track the mileage for when you need an oil change on your car, this system they had a system that was also doing that was logging all of the data on how much something had been used so that they would know when to replace the component. And the last thing is the data was being transferred back onshore so that the staff in onshore could also have that data to manage. Another risk with the traditional solution is that if there was a downtime of the software, then they could be out of compliance with the government regulations, which could have large fines. Also, any downtime for an offshore drilling operation is very costly. So it's very important for them. They have different levels of redundancy with their equipment to ensure that that downtime does not occur. So for the existing OEM and the provider of this solution, they had offered a replacement to the customer that we started working with, but it was a very high dollar amount. I would say 3 times what we had quoted, and a very long time to market. So they said it would take a year for them to be able to get the solution in place. So what we were able to do, utilizing the Iconics suite, is we could make a solution that would work with different versions of the blowout preventer equipment. So whether it was an older version 5 or a version 6, it would be backwards compatible, and also a short time to market because of the reusability of the templates in Iconics. So we were able to deliver this within 10 weeks. So later on, there'll be a demo with Suhail, and he'll show you the full application, but I just want to kind of give you an idea of how we used Iconics to architect this solution. So on the vessel would be where the BOP control network would be. And we added 2 redundant servers using the Iconics suite and Hyperhistorian to log all of the real-time data and also provide visualization and storage of the historical data. We also had an integration using SQL and C# to help do some of those calculations, those maintenance calculations for how many times each component had been used. The 2 redundant servers are then connected on vessel to a gateway. This gateway has Iconics suite on it as well, and we're using Hyperhistorian merge tags to take the data from the on-vessel system and pipe that to the cloud. Our solution is hosted in Azure, and we are able to use AssetWorks to mirror the same setup that we have on the vessel that's in the cloud as well. So we really are able to provide that digital twin aspect. So what you see on the vessel is what you're able to see in the cloud. So that's through AssetWorks and also through the visualization tool GraphWorks as well. This system has the ability, if one server goes down on the vessel, the other server picks right back up and continues the connection to the cloud. Also, if for some reason in this case, these vessels usually have satellite for communication. If there is a period of time where they lose connectivity, all the data is stored and forwarded back to the cloud once the connection is reestablished. So lastly, I just want to go through our service, our SCADA as a service solution and the benefits. So the first is the architecture. So we have redundancy on the vessel and on the cloud. So there's assurance to the customer that they won't have any data loss, and they also won't be in risk of violating any of the compliance that's required for the government regulations. We're using real-time monitoring using the Iconics tools. So this means that on the vessel, I'm seeing the data in near real time, but that's also true with my digital twin that I have in my cloud environment. We see that, you know, it's less than 30 seconds to maybe a minute where we see the data actually updating in the cloud as well and keeping those 2 systems in sync. As I mentioned previously, there's backwards compatibility. So what that means is it doesn't matter what version of the actual BOP control system that's in place. Using Iconics, we're able to connect to any version because it's backwards compatible. And I think the biggest thing with the architecture is the reusability. So utilizing AssetWorks not only helps with this one particular solution, but it helps with our time to market for other customers. So a customer may have multiple vessels that they need this solution on. So we can easily take our template from AssetWorks and we can deploy it across the 3 different vessels and account for any slight changes that might exist. And that same thing is true for the visualization tools because of the way they're able to be set up as templates and connect to AssetWorks. It also allows for easy deployment. On the graphics side, one of the nice things about Iconics is that the visualization layer is very rich. So for this deployment, we wanted to keep the visualization as close to the legacy system as possible, just to minimize any training that would be required on the operations side. And Iconics is very flexible and it was very easy to accomplish that. The other benefit that we have here with this offering is that we merged 3 different applications into one. So we have the real-time monitoring, we have the logging, the function logging, which is just, the component use, and then the maintenance and diagnostic to say when something is going to be end of life. We were also able to create a mobile app. So Iconics has the native mobile HMI. As a system integrator, it's very easy to use because I'm able to take my web-based screens and easily deploy them to the mobile solution. I don't have to recreate something. I can just deploy it to the mobile app. And then also in the system that the original OEM had provided, the trending was only available for the past 7 days. So if they wanted to look at more history, they actually had to dig into a bunch of CSV files. So what we were able to do utilizing the hyperhistorian and the trend tools is allow them to kind of seamlessly go back and look at their data to see when issues occurred. And the last thing, data management, again, is just talking about hyperhistorian. It's a really powerful tool for us because of the seamless redundancy. So when one server goes down, the other one picks back up without any disturbance to the users. And that's true on the on-premises system as well as communicating back to the cloud environment as well. So that hopefully gives you an idea of how our SCADA as a service offering Orion is kind of set up and why we as system integrators kind of got into this space and we're interested in it. Next, I'm going to pass the torch to Sahil, and he's actually going to take you through a demo of the system so you can kind of get a better understanding of how we laid it out. And then also at the end, he'll talk a little bit about the actual architecture, about how everything's connected.
Thank you very much, Morgan. My name is Suhail Yazdani, and and I'll be demoing out our BOP SCADA system, codename Orion. We have developed this system to make it easier for the engineers, technicians, and management alike to read the condition and status of the system very easily without having to know the technical knowledge. We've created a dashboard or an overview screen that gives us what they like to call BOP Christmas tree. In the middle, to see the status of each major component, all of the pipe rams and casing shear rams, gas relief valves, so on and so forth. And apart from that is we have the alarm KPIs on the left-hand side on the system status. You can see that the KPI will show the active alarm as well as a red warning symbol. And if the warning symbol is clicked, you can see which alarms are active. You can then look at the maintenance required on the right-hand side. That gives us a maintenance due in column so that the technicians can easily see which components are the most critical components. And on the bottom of that, we have important KPIs for each of the pods. And pods are a physical redundant system to where if a component on one particular pod is compromised, the other pod will take over. Now, I would like to show you the actual sections or one of the sections of the BOP. The section that I have is the stack screen, and this is the lower part of the BOP where it shows the status of each of the RAMs. Pardon me. And these screens have been derived from the existing physical panels as well as their HMI. So it's a best of both worlds to depict what's actually happening on the BOP. And these individual symbols, the green, yellow, and red, they are smart symbols to where if a component is not communicating to the PLC or whatever communication problems that you have an X and the symbol is grayed out where my mouse is. That particular component is not communicating. Along with that is these symbols are trendable with our trend tool. So I can give an example. Our trend tool will tell us how many times this particular RAM has been opened. Another very important screen is our readback screen with important pressures and temperatures. And it's laid out in a bar graph style or horizontal bar, so that it depicts what temperature, what pressure is out of range. And it will give an alarm as well as visually depict it. And you can see the trends being populated on the bottom. Apart from that is the communication status. You would want a PLC or a system to be fully communicating. I've demonstrated that if a communication is gone awry, it will turn either yellow or red to indicate that that system needs to be looked at and an engineer needs to be called in. But that's just our BOP system. How we've integrated this into a digital twin style is our local system, our hyperhistorian, is looking at asset works, but our apologies. Our Azure server is actually looking at a digital twin server or Azure server through frameworks. And that merge tag will collect the data as much as it can. When it realizes that the communication is off, it will store it on the on-premises server as much as it can, or as much as it's defined to, and forward it to the Azure server. And that concludes our demo. Thank you very much.
All right, Suhail, thank you so much. Very interesting system, and also something very essential for our oil and gas clients. Okay, I'm going back to share my screen. So in summary, again, thanks to our friends at our gold certified SI at SOAP Engineering. I'd like to spend a couple of moments and talk about Iconics support and services for our system integrator community. We provide a variety of product training, technical support, solution sales, pre-sales support, as well as consulting services working with our SIs through our quality professional services. SIs who are members of the Iconics program have access to all of these services from Iconics at the email, through the web, as well as in person. Our Iconics System Integrator program is a multi-tiered program consisting of 4 tiers, ranging from gold certified SIs such as SOAP Engineering to certified SIs enrolled, and our new registered SIs, which is a no-charge entry level for our SI program. We endeavor to provide our SIs with technology that enables your work to deliver Iconic solutions, the training to have the capability to deliver the Iconic solution, be it classroom training, our Iconics Institute video training, and some of our specialized SI Gear Up training. We provide technical support for our SI community, and we also promote our SIs through directory listings, logos, success stories, and Iconics events. To learn more about the Iconics System Integrator program, go to the Iconics website under the About tab and see information on the System Integrator program. And with that, I'd like to switch over to our question and answer session of the presentations. Okay, working with Megan, do you have any questions for us?
I do. We received a couple here. I can start off with the first one. It is, are you using Azure to host the Iconic system for the wellhead monitoring application?
Yes.
Okay, more.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and take that. So we are using Azure for this solution. We started out using Azure honestly because we had a different project using IoT Works, the IoT Works solution for Iconics, and it seamlessly works with Azure's IoT Hub component. So it just made sense for us naturally to continue to host in Azure because of the tight partnership between Iconics and Microsoft. Everything works very well with those platforms together.
Great, thank you, Morgan. Scott, I don't know if you had anything to add to that or not.
All right, yeah, I mean, Iconics is available in the Azure Marketplace. You can simply go there and in just a few minutes deploy Iconics to your Azure server based on your Azure subscription. So check that out. Iconics is up in the marketplace, and simply add your Iconics license and you're ready to go for production application configuration.
Great, thank you both. Our next question is, how difficult is it to set up the Iconic software in the Azure cloud?
Sahil, why don't you go ahead and speak to that?
So you can take the configuration from the on-prem site and import it into the Azure server so that you have a one-to-one configuration. Whatever you have on premises, it will be copied over to the Azure cloud, with the exception of the hyperhistorian configuration and the AssetWorks configuration in Azure. So that's where the merge tag gets implemented.
Okay, thank you, Sahil. Our next question is, does Iconics AssetWorks allow propagation and deployment of child assets?
I'll take that one. It certainly does. You can, once you configure your asset templates, then you can deploy child assets and then propagate any changes or updates to those assets.
All right, thank you, Scott. And those are all the questions that we received so far.
Okay, Megan, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Again, thanks to the CSIA team for hosting this webinar. And with that, I'll hand it over to Jose.
Thank you very much, Scott. And I would like to share my screen again with the concluding slides. So first, on behalf of CSIA, I would like to thank Morgan, Sohail, and Scott for this informative discussion. I also would like to thank Iconics for sponsoring this event. Of course, thank you, the attendees of this virtual event. I'd like to remind you that a recording will be available for viewing within the next couple of days. Please visit the CSIA website to view past virtual events you may have missed. And also mark your calendars. We're having these virtual events on a weekly basis this time of the day. So please look them up and put them on your calendar. And if you would like to have further questions, please contact us. I'm Jose Rivera, the CEO of CSIA. Lisa Richter is the Industry Director of CSIA, and here are our addresses. So without any further ado, thank you very much. This was a great presentation, very interesting, and have a great rest of the day.